one of the reasons I really reached out to you today, besides I think we have an awful lot in common in our careers beyond our name, is that you are one of the few people locally, nationally, it doesn't even matter the location. You are one of the few people, Damon, who understand the crime that has happened against fans of the Oakland A's and what an absolute shyster charlatan we have in John Fisher as an unaccountable owner, son of a rich guy. Every bad movie you ever saw on HBO with the kid who was the preppy school with the sweater tied around bad guy, like that's John Fisher. And you are all over a topic that is either uncared about or ignored by most. Why?
Well, so there's a part of this that is lost on me as well because it's so obvious that what is happening is a sham that I can't believe other people don't see it, except for I think that people don't care enough to see it. I think part of it's a baseball problem. If this was happening in the NFL, more people, more eyes, more critical thinking, more talking heads would be focused on the granular nature of it. Because it's baseball, a lot of people just kind of like throw their hands up and they see it from afar. But the reason that I see how shyster all of this is, what the crime is I think because I've always felt as though franchise relocation's always been a gambit. It's always been, kind of 3-card Monte, where the owners pretend like they don't have the money for the stadium or the ballpark. And so they say, well, we can't do it here, really just looking for the next municipality who will pay them the money that they could pay themselves if they wanted to stay. And it was the Browns leaving Cleveland, and it was the Oilers leaving Houston, and go down the list of them that always bothered me. They always bother me. This one in particular bothers me, though, because of what I think is just this incredibly naive / slanted / ignorant take of, well, everybody left the Bay Area. And I'm just like, that's not true. And it's not real. It's not reality to say that the A's are just following the lead of the Raiders and just following the lead of the Warriors. And the fact that it just keeps getting lumped in there is like, so we're just going to ignore the fact that there's so many differences and that John Fisher is effing John Fisher. And I don't need to go into all the details for your audience. They know it inside and out. But the fact that these all get lumped together, to me, there's a part of this that's just people like to see the Bay Area be marked down or have a black eye or lose something, perhaps politically, perhaps socially. There's just something there that just gets warped about this conversation. Like if this was happening in Indianapolis, I don't think people would be so gleeful of seeing teams leave. But number two, the Warriors didn't leave. I hate when people say this. Well, no, they stayed in the market, and that's the point. The market, the Bay Area, as you know, is the 10th largest media market in America. They're going to go to Vegas, which makes them the smallest media market in Major League Baseball. This is one of the wealthiest markets in America. Why would you leave one of the wealthiest to go to one of the least wealthy in terms of professional sports? And the fact that people can't connect these dots, it's like, well, nobody's thinking about this. And then you add the John Fisher thing, where he's always hid and he's never spoken. And those are things that I understand people outside the Bay Area might not dig into understanding. But I mean, once you just start doing a little bit of research, you're like, oh, wait, this is a total sham. The whole thing's a sham. And the fact that it's not called out that way by everybody is really depressing to me. It really is.
You can look at this through the prism of the move to Las Vegas, and all of that is fascinating and convoluted and ugly and interesting and dull all at the same time. Or you can really get into the story that I think is one of the least covered stories in baseball history, which is the systematic, intentional sabotaging of a franchise by an owner. It's straight out of the plot of Major League. It truly, truly is. And you get it. So many others haven't seen it or even thought about it. And you get it. And I want you to know that even though you feel like an East Coast guy, look, talk, and sound like one too, you have a pocket of fans out here, Damon, that absolutely adore you for this, that care that you care about them, because so few do, to the point where there is a group of A's fans who are putting on their own fan fest for a team that doesn't love them back. But they're still that awesome and committed. And I know that they're inviting us at the same time, because they're like, hey, you're both Damons, you both get it. But that's how much your understanding of this topic is appreciated out here. It's not a huge pocket of people. Obviously, when you're talking to A's fans, you're not searching for clicks. It's a very boutique topic, but you are a boutique shopper and a VIP shopper in this topic, and so few are. And I want you to know people appreciate you for it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And for the audience out there that are A's fans that feel like they're being held at gunpoint and nobody understands them, I really empathize with this. And I don't understand the people that just assume that A's fans don't care. And maybe it's because I grew up in the 80s and I watched the Bash Brothers and I watched those great teams every year in the World Series fill up the Coliseum. But it never felt to me like that was an apathetic baseball town. It always looked to me on TV watching those games in the playoffs and the World Series that there was this incredible A's fan base. And when I went to Syracuse and my freshman floor, two of my friends were both A's fans. They had come from the Bay Area to study journalism and business at SU. And so I was around A's fans there and I could see their passion. And it always struck me as ridiculous, this assumption that nobody cared. And so the idea that anybody should go to the Coliseum is a joke. The idea that anybody should care for a team that doesn't care for them back is a joke. And the fact that I get all of these DMs and all of these @ messages on Twitter about thanks for saying something, thanks so much, you totally get it. I'm like, how are these people not being heard? I hear it every day on Twitter. The moment that I say something on the radio, I put something on Twitter, I put something on YouTube. It's like they're obviously there. The fact that they're completely ignored is really offensive to me. And it's like, also 60 years of baseball doesn't matter. They won 3 straight in the 70s. They went to 3 straight World Series in the 80s and 90s. They have some of the most iconic teams and players ever, and they don't matter. Like, this isn't the Expos. This isn't a team. This isn't the Marlins or the Rays. This team has mattered for a long time during stretches in baseball history. And it flummoxes me that people don't understand why it matters and that this needs to be stopped. And I don't know. I tell everybody this that reaches out to me from all these great fan groups. I'd love to come out for Fan Fest. I would have loved to come out to the reverse boycott last year, but nothing was really working on my schedule. We just had a baby in May. But I really want to come out to a game this season. And I've circled a few dates to try to get out there because I want to feel, what everybody else is feeling, because I care a lot about this. And people have been so kind and warm to me and thankful that I'm like, the least I can do is fly out there and see a game or two and hang out with everybody and have a few fish tacos or whatever. So I'm going to try to make it work, but it means a lot that everybody has said so many supportive things of the things that I've said.
Let's make it a multi-Damon, multimedia event. Let's do that this summer.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, I'll give you some of the dates. Yeah.
I think we just put a plan together.